Welcome back to another edition of The Burnout with yours truly. We've been off for a little while, but we're back in full effect now. And we're going to get into a subject that has been hitting the news sites for the last couple of days, and that's the Nolan Wells tragedy. That's what you can call it, a tragedy. I'm going to get in a little bit, in my opinion, about what I think happened and the details that I've uncovered as I did my research. But before I do it, I want to do a quote of the day. And my quote of the day is, if you ride with the devil long enough, at some point he's going to start driving. And that's just how it is. If you play with him long enough, he's going to take over the wheel and he's going to run it into the ditch, because that's what he does. Let's dive right into this. I'm not going to be long, but there's a few things that I've been listening to on social media. I've read on social media with all these Facebook lawyers, TikTok, defense attorneys, and it's just amusing to me that and everybody says it's not a black and white thing. It always turns into a black and white thing, because every time something happens to a black person, everybody wants to say, well, let's just give it time, this and that. But when it happens to a white person, they already go ahead and come up with the verdict. So you keep moving the goalpost, but then you keep saying it's not about black, it's not about white. Unfortunately, that's exactly what it is about. And on this show, we do not sugarcoat it, and we tell it like it is, and we're going to continue to tell it like it is. And unfortunately, it is a black and white thing. It's not a coincidence that 4 people leave, 1 is black, 3 is white, and the 3 white ones come back, the black ones don't. They have his cell phone, so that Ben Crumpler, which is that lawyer, is saying there's conflicting stories about they got a recording of the altercation where they was arguing. Noel was arguing with one of the other gentlemen, so that's been left out. And then they said the young woman had said that he said he was going to get back on the boat with the other guys. That is conflicting with the story that they said. And this coming from Ben Crumpler himself. This the lawyer, when they did interviewed him, this is what he said. So we got a lot to unfold here. There's a lot to unpack, and honestly, who knows? But let's stick with what we do know. He went with 3 white friends. He's the only one that didn't come back. Now, we can twist this any way we want to. We can tie it up in a nice big bow, but that's something that ain't quite right there. And then from sources that I've tried to uncover, said that even before they found Nolan's body, the white boys lawyered up. If that's true, I can't confirm it one way or another. It's a conflicting story. But if that is true, if you did nothing wrong, what are you getting a lawyer for? See, that's kind of suspicious in itself to me. But let's stick with what we do know. The article reads, the family of Nolan Wells, a teenager found dead on an island off of Mississippi. Ironically, it's always dealing with Mississippi, which is, let's just be honest, one of the most racist states there is, because the governor there, he does not condemn racism, because they allow them to walk around with swastikas, Confederate flags, and spew a racist tone. So we know he's not on the side of justice. That's been known. But let's just get back to the article. It says he was Mississippi, and he has been missing for days. Is seeking answers about the circumstances surrounding his death. They have retained civil rights attorney Ben Crump. Wells, 18, was last seen on July the 4th on Horn Island, where he had taken a boat trip with friends to celebrate the holiday, official says. His body was discovered Monday off the coast of the island following a search involving multiple local, state, and federal agencies, including the U.S. Coast Guard, the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, and the National Park Service. Dental records confirmed the body was Wells. Jackson County Coroner Bryce Lind told CBS News an autopsy took place Tuesday, Lynn said, but the results were not immediately made public. Shocking, ain't it? In a statement released Tuesday, Crump said the family is searching for answers about the events leading up to Wells' death. Noah Wells was a beloved son, teammate, and friend who went out to celebrate the 4th of July and never came home. His family deserves answers. They deserve the truth, Crump said. We will not rest until every fact about what happened to Nolan on Horn Island is brought into the light, and we will call on investigators to pursue the case with the urgency and transparency the family deserves. Crump was also recently retained by the family of Mississippi 1-year-old who was killed when police fired into a moving car. We're going to get into that next week, so just hold tight on that. Jackson County Sheriff John Ledbetter said Wells traveled to Horn Island by boat with his friends on Saturday, but did not return to the mainland with them that afternoon. He was last seen on the island at 3 p.m. according to Crump office. His mother reported Wells missing later that night. Ledbetter told the Associated Press that Wells' friends were cooperating with the investigation. From the people we've talked to, it sounds like he chose to stay on the island with the assumption that he was going to ride back to the mainland with someone else, he said. See, that's where the conflicting stories come in at. That's not what Crump said. Well, who would have turned 19 next month? Wells would have turned 19 next month, attended Southwest Mississippi Community College, where he played wide receiver on the football team. Wells High School coach Tracy Lampley described him to the CBS News as a happy-go-lucky kid with a big smile that everybody adored and loved. Lampley said Wells was a talented athlete, a conscientious student, and respectful person. If you got kids, you want your kid to be like Nolan, he said. The coach said he recognized some of the individuals who appeared with Wells in social media video over the holidays as his former teammates. But he hadn't spoken with any of them. Lampley said he had spoken with the Wells family, and they're devastated. In a social media post, his mother, Christine Wosley, said the family is seeking video and other documentation from the island. My heart is broken for my sweet son who was always willing to cheer and uplift others, she said. Nolan was a special soul. God took his time creating our son. Okay, that's about all I'm gonna read off that. This is my opinion about this. If I go with 3 friends and one of them is left on the island that has no food, no shelter, none of that. Even if they had it, we ain't leaving until we get him back. That's why it doesn't make any sense. If he was going to stay, why do they have the cell phone? Well, kids, the cell phone automatically is the first thing the person grabs when they're going to stay somewhere. Now, we all do it now because we depend on cell phone for everything. It's mighty funny that he was going to catch a ride with somebody else and let them keep his cell phone. That doesn't make any sense. If you truly are a friend of mine, you're not going to leave me. That makes no sense. Now, what the article didn't say is from the police report of Mississippi, who has no credit. Which let's just be honest, Mississippi law enforcement has no credibility whatsoever. God given up. It's time and time again they have shown you they have no credibility. It just don't add up to me. There's nothing about this situation that adds up to me. That they didn't discuss the altercation that he had with one of the boys. They didn't discuss what the young lady that was in there said he was going to ride back with him. They left that out. So you want me to believe he got off the boat, but you need a private boat to get there. You got off the boat, which that was no indication that was any other transportation that he could have got on. You got a video of him and the boy having an argument, which ironically was left out of the police report, ironically. And then, on top of all of that, if this is true now, We do not know. We can say it's speculation, but we done looked at multiple sources which said those 3 boys lawyered up when they got back. And one of the boys' mother is a judge, so you already know how that's gonna end up. Now, if that's true, once again, I go back and repeat what I said. If you did nothing wrong, there's no need for you to get a lawyer. Only people who get lawyers are guilty people. But then you got all these Facebook bandits and Facebook lawyers, Facebook district attorneys, and Facebook defense attorneys speculating. And there's one young lady on there saying this. Now, you know a lot, but you wasn't there. So where are you getting your information from? See, it's all speculation. But let's just be honest. They said the first thing come out of their mouth is not a white and black thing. See, if that's the first thing that comes out of your mouth, that's what it is. Because if it's not a black and white thing, that shouldn't be the first thing that you say. It was the first thing that you said because that's exactly what it is. And there's multiple white people on social media always trying to come to the defense of the indefensible. But when Carmelo Anthony was in Texas, when he got into an altercation, which should have been in defending himself, they got new video on that. We'll get into that later at a later date. They quick to say the black guy's guilty, but when it comes to the reverse, when it's a black guy involved, well, let's get all the facts. Well, he wasn't that great a swimmer. Well, he must have been drunk. You see how they make excuses? You see how they keep moving the goalposts? They always move the goalposts. And it's not all white people. Now, let's not get it straight. You got some white people that was on there that was calling it like they see it. Point blank. They said that was some BS. I'm trying not to cuss because my mama don't like me to cuss too much, but sometimes it comes out. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But it's been white people on social media who said that was BS. That couldn't have happened like that. So it ain't all white people. To me, it's the racist white people who quick to jump to conclusion, try to defend other white people. I'm not going to defend no black person if you're in the wrong. I don't care what you did. If the evidence comes out and it shows that I get any kind of impression that you're lying or you did this, I'm going after you. I'm coming at full force for you. I don't discriminate. Black, white, purple, green, blue, it don't make no difference to me. Only thing I look for is right and wrong and justice. I ain't studying the rest of it. All the color barrier is irrelevant to me. It's either you're right or you're wrong. And in this case, it looks like that it's a lot of wrong going on to the other side, but you got some white people that wants to defend the wrong. You know, this is what I don't like. This is what I don't like. And then you got some black people, like this clown Officer Tate, which he's black that wants to be white so bad, it's killing him. I can't stand a self-hating black person, whether you female or male, and nobody's asking you to defend them if they're in the wrong, but I can't stand a black person that put down their own race. I can't stand that. Stephen A. Smith is one of them. We'll get into him a little later on. I got some guests I'm gonna bring on to talk about him. But let's just stick where we at. Now they saying, well, they're making up all the excuses. Well, he couldn't swim. He was drinking. He was this. He was that. He was that. You see how they make excuses up? You see how they try to slide over and try to defend the indefensible? This is what they do all the time. But these are only the racist white people that do this. And then it's the ignorant black people who co-sign for that nonsense. What we do know, that Nolan Will is dead. Well, we know that for sure. Now, what we don't know is how and why. They got the autopsy, but they ain't released it. That's kind of shaky. But this is Mississippi. Mississippi do some shaky stuff. They have a history of doing some bullshit, you know what, and covering up a lot of stuff that they police officers do. We know this for a fact. But in this case, it's strange to me how many people come out that saying all these things about what he is, but you don't know where you getting your facts from? I'm getting mine from the CBS News, CNN, even Fox. They got it. I get mine from different news sources. And none of the news sources I'm getting it reveals anything that some of y'all are saying. Nobody said anything about he was drunk and he drowned. Well, he had a drink in his hand, a drink. I can get a pink lemonade. I can get any drink you want. That don't mean I'm drunk because that I'm holding it. And just because I'm with people don't mean I'm drinking. I don't drink, but I hang around some of the guys that do. That don't make me drunk because I'm around them. So don't use that excuse. I can't stand when people use foolishness as a crutch. Look, nobody knows but them three boys what really happened. And in my opinion, if I go out with 4 friends, we all coming back, ain't none of us coming back. That's just how I come up. We're not gonna come back and leave you. You can lobby, you can advocate for you staying. We ain't going back until you come back. It's a private boat, so they didn't have to leave until they were ready to come back. So that's another strike that I don't understand. And I'm curious to why any other time they bring up the autopsy, once they get it, they reveal it. Why are you holding it now? You ain't even told the family yet. So there's a lot of little shaky stuff that leans me into that foul play area, and nobody wants to come clean with it, and everybody wants to lie and try to make their narrative fact when your narrative is not fact, because you don't know no more than nobody else, but you claim you do because you're trying to justify what happened. You're trying to relinquish responsibility from one group and then hand all the responsibility to the other one because the other one can't defend himself. That's what I don't like from white people, and I don't like from black people, is you trying to draw a story that doesn't exist because you're trying to defend something that happened that you know truly was wrong, but you're trying to defend it anyway. That's BS at its finest, and only racist people will find fault in somebody or a group of people, or try to defend a group of people that foul play is in there. Only a racist person would jump the gun. And to know how I know when I locate a racist person, when the first thing you come up and tell is, I'm not a racist. Nobody asked you if you were or you wasn't. Nobody told you to volunteer that information. You volunteered it because I couldn't see it. And it's just like Christians. Anybody who walks up and tell you I'm a Christian, and they constantly tell you I'm a Christian, if you're a Christian, the Bible says, I will see, your light will shine. But if you got to keep telling me, that means you're trying to convince me, or you're trying to convince yourself of the lie that you're telling. Just like some of these white and black people right now are trying to convince themselves of the lie that they're trying to convince themselves and others of a narrative that doesn't exist. But then at the end, they all say, well, we'll wait and we'll get all the evidence. You don't need the evidence. You already done laid it out. You already done come up to your conclusion. So I don't understand why you're trying to say you will wait until all the evidence come out. And in my opinion, you done already deemed them boys innocent. So, you know what? Like I said, on the burnout, we gonna tell it like it is. We don't believe in that sugarcoating mess. Everybody else can, but we don't ride like that. But we're gonna keep up. We're gonna keep on top of this, and we're gonna keep going till we find out exactly what really happened, if we ever find out what really happened. But somehow the truth always comes out. It always does. It always rears its head, and it always tells the whole story. And then the ones that try to defend the bull crap Then they come out, they get mighty quiet. But what you don't understand, you done posted, so people already got it, what you posted. You can't take that back. The toothpaste is out the tube. You can't put it back in there. So sometime before you release your racist agenda, you might want to hold back a little bit and wait until everything comes out before you spew that garbage. Because once it's out, you can't take it back. That's all I got right now until we get more details and more substantial truth and we get some definite evidence on what happened out there. But I will leave with this. And I've seen a lot of people on social media say this. If my son goes out with your boys, whether they be black or white, and he's the only one that doesn't come back, I'm not the only one who's gonna be grieving. People say, well, you wrong for that, you wrong for this. But Jesus wasn't this. Well, I can't walk on water, I can't turn water to wine, and I can't summon a legion of angels. So I'm not him. I'm not perfect, I'm not trying to be. But I'm not gonna lie like a lot of people will do and say, well, I'll just let the government. No. Everybody can say that because you ain't in that position. Well, I'm not gonna tell that lie. I'm not the only one who's gonna be grieving. I'll leave it at that. All right, and next time we're coming back next week. Hopefully we'll have more details. As we come back, same time, same place, on the burnout. And remember, always flame up, never burn out. 2 fingers, peace.